Welcome everybody to the MLO Live Show. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Is it called LinkedIn? All right.
It is now.
It is now. I'm changing the name. I'm changing the game. So I'm super excited to be here with Kristina Tkalec. Did I say it right?
Yes, Kristina Tkalec. Let's go with that.
All right. I'm going to go interview for those college graduate names, because now I got it, man. If I got, I can do this. I can do this now. I used to say no, but I'm doing it. So super excited to have you here. You do a lot of things you do a lot for our industry, and I'm super excited to have you here. So you're a special part. In fact, you are the most special part, because without you, we are nobody, floundering out here, and I'll just say the ocean, the water, the stuff. So introduce yourself, Kristina, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and let's get this party started.
Absolutely, guys. My name is Kristina Tkalec. I am the owner of the Brokers Processor. We are a contract processing company, licensed in 5 states currently. We're in California, Colorado, Florida, Texas, and Georgia, and we're currently expanding in 4 more. And yeah, I've been in this industry for over 18 years, heavy on the processing side. I mean, I've done it all, guys. I've been in retail, broker space. I've done probably over 2,500 loans in my lifetime. So it just got to a point where I feel like there's a better way to do this. I had a vision and I started this company, and I'm really excited to share some tips and tricks with you guys.
So how did you get into, were you a loan originator first and then a processor?
No.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. No, my very first job in the mortgage industry was cold calling for a mortgage broker. Like, we would literally get those title books back in the day, and our manager would break them into 3-4 pieces, and we go down the line calling people, trying to get leads to take apps. Wow. So the loan officers can go sell them. That was my very, very first job back in the day.
So they threw you in the trenches, they threw you in the fire is what they really did. So yeah, the hardest job ever.
Crazy. But I mean, obviously I believe that if you're focused on clients, you love building relationships, and let's be honest, you have to be somewhat money driven in this industry. You're going to want to strive. You're going to want to learn, hey, what can I say to get this person to follow what I'm saying, be interested, and hook them in.
Yeah.
I always find that fascinating.
Love it. I love it. So yeah, when I first talked to you, I love your vibe. I love your energy, and I love how you just have a confidence for processing. And so my title was why some loan officers are capturing more deals, creating an amazing experience. And you had a huge vibe for that. So let's talk about why some do, why some don't. And why some get, some of the big producers just continually get more and more and more and more from, and it's maybe 50% them, maybe 100% them, but then when it comes to turning over the file, what do you and you and I had this conversation, I think it's a big deal. Talk to us about that piece of getting the deal, but then turning it over. Do you see a lot of people just, I'm not letting go, I need to be in it? And talk to us about that situation.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up. So I think the biggest issue that I see with people who are giving us the file and they don't want to let it go, and I'll be honest, it's because you haven't done enough digging up front, and you have a little bit of an anxiety lingering to let this deal go. And this really kind of hones it in, guys, about the loan officers that I see are successful and they're growing year over year versus people who are kind of stuck in the same number of units and volume year after year. And it's so funny because it really comes back down to the basics. Your 1003, guys, is literally the most important thing you can submit on your application. I mean, I really want you to think about this, okay? And I use this analogy because it is so straightforward. You guys are the architect, okay? You're creating the blueprints of what you want your processor to build, right? So we're your general contractor. If you give us blueprints that are kind of there, they're halfway finished, heck, we might build you the wrong house. You're going to get upset, and the customer's going to get upset and be like, guys, this is not the house I wanted to build, because we're left to guess. Versus if you give us the clean blueprints, we know exactly what you want us to execute, because that is our job. Our job is to execute on that plan, right? But let's be serious, Scott. There's so many little details on that 1003, guys. I say this to everybody on board. Do the best job you can up front on your 1003. Get your initial qualification documents, and we will be able to create an opportunity for you to stay out of the file and go get us more business. Do it up front. We will run it and take it home, right?
Yeah.
But let's kind of dissect this, okay? What does that really mean, getting a clean 1003? Okay, you guys have different ways of getting them. Sometimes your borrower completes it themselves. Sometimes you jump on a call with them. Whatever your method is, dig. Ask the questions, right? You know this, Scott. If you spend an extra 10 minutes with your client massaging that 1003, you're going to get a way better understanding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of what situation you're dealing with. You don't want to just be like, oh, you're a nurse. Cool. Great. Well, what kind of nurse are you? What are your shifts? Do you work 12-hour shifts 3 days a week? Are you more of a 8-hour shift 5 days a week? Are you a traveling nurse? What's your schedule like? Because you guys know that variable income can make a big, big difference.
So you brought up so many good points, and I just want to dig into each of them. And if anybody has any questions for, please. And Dion Bass, I saw you hit the O. So we have an underwriter. We have Ask the Underwriter on the call with us today. So
I love it.
You need to get to know her because she's amazing. But so you said build the foundation, because you got to have a foundation before you can go up, right? And so that was a big. Yep. Do you see a lot of LOs just getting pieces and parts, and then later on you're like, oh, I didn't even know that, and they could have spent one extra question, or they could have done one extra little bitty dig in, or not rely on them to fill out the. I swear to you, and I hate to say this, but I talked to a friend the other day who filled out okay, listen to this. This is going to freak you out. They filled out the application and they were almost $100,000 short on the purchase price. Guess who entered the application? And it somehow got through everybody and went to underwriting. Oops. DTI was 1% off at what they put in. You add $100,000 to it, and it's just out of whack. So,
wow.
Right? Yeah. So I guess my question is, do you see the best of the best taking the application over the phone? Or are they sending links? Are they doing both 50-50? What do you even know that question or that answer?
No, I actually do, because I like to run studies on our pipelines and see what's working out there. The MLOs that are crushing it, what are they doing? And they have a team, right? Or if they're smaller, they're still taking the time. Most of them, I will say, send out a link, right? Hey, Mr. Barr, fill out this application. And then based on that, they send a needs list, and then they look at it and they kind of analyze it. And one thing I will tell you guys is the guys that are doing that extra analyzing piece and scheduling that second call with the borrower to now dig into this application, those are the guys where we can do 17-day closes, right? Because we know what we're dealing with day one.
So I've got to ask this question to the people that are here. Are you guys taking the application over the phone, or like just put in the chat? Are you taking the application over the phone? Or are you sending links, or is it 50-50? Like what are we doing here as loan officers? Let's see what they're saying here. Phone, over the phone with a link.
I love it.
Okay, so you're having a conversation. So like phone with the link, both, whatever clients prefer. Have you guys, Mike? I'm curious. Have you tracked which ones stay and which ones go when it comes to over the phone building the relationship? Craig, you wanna comment on this?
Yeah, a lot of times too, some people are not comfortable doing things online.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Client, are you comfortable going to a website, uploading documents? And it's a nice, secure place to go. So get their permission. And just say, hey, it's really friendly. We can help you out with them. So a lot of people get weebie-jeebies about doing stuff online. So just give them their comfort, but let them know, hey, by the way, I don't want you to email me your tax returns and your financials. Right. This is why we have it. So kind of explain to them the process to protect them. At that same time, talk to them about pre-screening and opting them out.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Craig. Hey, Marilee, I want to bring you in. So Marilee says 90% over the phone. Just started that again. Like what changed, Marilee?
I was getting to the point where I was just automatically sending out the links, and I was never really, getting a good conversation with these clients and building relationship. And so all of a sudden one day I thought, gosh, why are all these clients shopping me?
Oh.
And it's because I hadn't established a relationship with them. And so, gosh, about 6 months ago, and I'm sure it was something I heard on your show, Scotty, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to always make the first call. And then based on my level, if I try to take the loan application myself, if I can't do it, I have a pre-approval specialist that's going to take the loan application over the phone. And now what I'm finding, you know how many people are shopping? Zero.
No kidding.
Zero.
Okay.
I'm not getting shopped.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm establishing that, relationship over the phone to begin with. And then once we go under contract, it's the basic stuff of calling, or I send a lot of videos to them instead of calling and getting on the phone. And I use Roam, which I know a lot of you guys are using Roam. They've got a great thing in their MagicCast. I use MagicCast then to videotape an explanation of the loan estimate before they go and sign, so that they get, clear understanding. And now they're used to seeing my face. They're used to hearing my voice.
Gotcha.
Even if I'm not having that conversation as much as I was in the beginning, I'm not getting shopped. And then when refi season comes, I've already developed this relationship, so.
Refi season? We talking about, Willis?
I'm hoping. I mean, we're kind of there,
So yeah, go ahead, Kristina.
I think she brought up a really, really good point that I completely agree with, because when you're spending that extra time and you're digging in with the application, that builds confidence. They're like, this loan officer really knows what's happening. We've dug deep into my income, my assets, how this is going to flow. They've educated me. They're not going to want to jump ship in the most stressful scenario that they've got going on in their life. They're like, this person heard me and has a direct roadmap. That's gold.
Yeah. So talk to us a little, like, how does because I want to, like, you are so desperately needed, like I said at the beginning of this call, because I don't want to process. I used to. I mean, my best month ever, 42 loans, and I had one processor. I would take my files home at night back in the day when you carried the files around, and I would have them on one side. Rick knows this, back in the day. And I would literally at 11, while Jay Leno was on, because I always, like, my kids were asleep, everybody was asleep. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go over each file so that if I got a call, I knew what the heck was going on with the file. How does your process, right, Rick? That's what we did, right?
I know. I remember.
Like, we walked out of the office like this. We're like, let's go, baby. And so, how does your process work? How do they get you the file? Talk about how you work and how you communicate with clients, or if you do or don't, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So we've built a process that I know has been proven tried and true through my years of experience and what works best. So we have an electronic submission sheet. You'd go on our website once you've been onboarded with us. You guys submit the loan. Now, there's a bunch of questions on there. I think I don't know exactly how many. It's not too crazy. It's a lot of yes or no type things, but it gives us the foundation of the little bit of information that a 1003 might not give us. And it gives you an opportunity to give us any other details. There's like a little note section. And then we ask that you guys have your qualifying docs up front, just your bare foundation. And here's why that is so important. We found so much more success for it. And you can ask the underwriter on this call, and I know they'll back me up on this, but guys, when you have your initial foundation documents and we're going into underwriting, your underwriter, they don't talk to you. They don't talk to me. They literally just have the app and the documents to tell a story. Now, when they have those foundation documents, if there's going to be some things that are going to cause issues, we know from day one, hey, this is the biggest pain point. We got to get through this hurdle. Don't wait till you're 4 to 5 days in the process for your processor to grab that initial foundation document. And now middle of your transaction, your underwriter seeing it for the first time. That is what's really going to cause the frustration.
Yeah. So, because this is like, how do we educate? And I'm not saying we need to, but I'm just saying if we did need to educate loan officers, I think master your craft is what I say. You guys agree with me, disagree with me, but I think you need to master this. And Devin, you're a big one on this. I hear you talk about it all the time. You did a DSCR presentation yesterday, right? You're like this 100%. And that and this and that. And so if we're not, I mean, like, just ask, and Jamie Miller's here, he can attest to this. Questions are the gold. I mean, that's from what he says, like asking enough questions, building the relationship throughout the 1003, throughout whatever you want to call it, is the gold to a relationship. If you're just passing it off, it's transaction based, right?
Scotty, can I was itching to say something earlier when Kristina spoke and then when Mary Lee spoke. Guys, imagine you're peeling an onion. All right, if you're making it logical, you're peeling one layer. All right, you are doing an emotional sale. What Kristina has shared with you and what Mary Lee shared with you is you have to show you care about the client. Don't just ask, oh, you're a nurse. Okay, great. Like Kristina said, hey, what kind of nurse? What kind of shift are you doing? Oh, like get more personable. And Scotty, you said it best. Take the extra 5 or 10 minutes. You've got someone. How many times do you call someone up and you get the voicemail?
Yeah,
what,
right.
85% of the time?
85,
so think about it, right. So when you get that 15%, you get a quality conversation. Ask them more questions, be like emotional, not logic.
Yeah.
If you only do it on logic, you will get shocked.
Amen.
So
thanks, brother.
There you go.
Appreciate you, man. So yeah, Kristina. So I love the process. I actually built something I love to run by you. It's and it's called the best loan path.
Okay.
And I uploaded all of Fannie Mae and Freddie into it, and it literally gives you a summary of it's really cool. So I'd love to share that with you and get your feedback on it. Because maybe we can tie it into, because I know the summary of when you submitted, like I'll be dead brutally honest. I'm not a detail-oriented person. I remember the stuff in my head like it was yesterday. Like I'll remember it. I remember every scenario, every DTI, how much reserves, 1.5, like blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to me writing something to give to the processor, I was like, nah. If I'm doing that, I'm not selling. That's, right, Devin? Like if I'm writing a paragraph about my loan, then my mind's like not in the next loan mode or next relationship mode. I hate to say loan, I say relationship. So what would you advise people when it comes to that, as far as once they get the deal, to let go? And if you take the extra 10 minutes, how much more pleasurable and creating a referable experience is it when you get the deal, right?
100%. You touched on a couple of really good things. The difference between you writing a paragraph and a quick bullet point sentence is, what did you provide and how well do you know your own loan?
Yeah.
I think guys who are writing paragraphs, you got to really think about it. You haven't really figured out all the kinks, or you don't have a clear roadmap. Because remember, you guys are building the path. We're walking it, we're guiding it, and we're clearing bulldozers in the path with the underwriter. That's what we're doing. But we can't create that path. I think when there's uncertainty, that's where a lot of information has to keep coming in, because I don't really know, this might come up, this could that type of a thing. To touch on your second point, I mean, that's where we have the foundation documents that we like to call that we need, because we get a chance to become intimate with the file and set it up the best way before we send it to the underwriter. Because once the underwriter sees it, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And we want to present this with a big, pretty bow and have a clear path. So we know right away. And the difference between you getting that referral, that 5-star review, that raving review with your realtor is, hey, Mrs. Nurse, I know you're guaranteed 72 hours every 2 weeks. However, in your profession, due to wage laws, it is totally normal that a small portion of those hours sometimes fall into overtime or double time. This is so common, and we've seen this many times. I just want to give you a heads up. Kristina, my processor, she's been doing this for a really long time. She's going to ask additional questions regarding this, and she's going to help you get through that point. When this happens, don't panic. It's completely normal and expected. In fact, I would just give you a heads up. We will likely communicate with your HR department to get the verbiage that the lender needs to see in order for them to feel comfortable with the situation. When you give your borrower that information, that is so huge versus, oh, great, you make so much money, everything looks good, send it in a processing. Then your processor's reaching out saying, hey, the classification of your guaranteed hours isn't all falling under regular pay. So now we're going to have to document this. Here's the problem with that. Now your borrower's like, whoa, Scott didn't tell me that. Does Scott know what he's doing? What's going on here? Am I going to qualify? It's a panic because there wasn't enough education.
Uncertainty was the big word there. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, and I want some full transparency here, you guys, on the call. Is it like it's desperation mode and you just hope if you throw it against the wall, it's going to stick, and you hope maybe like we'll just figure it out later on down the road? That's why you don't spend the time. I'm not saying you do or you don't, but sometimes I think I hear of things happening at the final hour and I'm like, how did that not get caught at the very initial application? Right, Devin? Like what?
100%.
Like where do we miss this boat? Like where is the gap here of some of these situations that come up at the final hour? Not that they, like the client didn't maybe share 100% of the I don't even know the terms, but like all that stuff,
I mean, I think the borrowers, there's always going to be a little bit of mystery, right? And we can't expect you guys to know 100% of your client's life because unfortunately they're never going to give it to you, and that's okay. I mean, we're experienced. We know what we're doing, guys. We're your right-hand man or woman, and we're going to help you get that deal closed. But again, just having that foundation of understanding the core values, understanding what your potential pain points are, and then normalizing it to your borrower and giving them expectation and uplifting your processor that they are an expert in their field.
Love it.
Hey, Scott, to answer your question, though, a minute ago, one of the reasons we do it verbally and talk to people, because the old saying is buyers are liars. So they don't always tell us everything. It's always those little things. How much money you make? Well, last year I made $120,000. Oh, okay. That's my gross. That's not my, adjusted gross. So,
yeah,
I mean, that is one of the big issues. A lot of times we're keeping one hand in the file because a lot of these folks that we talk to, they tell us one thing, we get the basic docs, and then all of a sudden something falls out of the closet. And it's like, oops, here we go again.
Yeah. And that's where Kristina's like, go deeper with those questions, right? Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I think LOs, especially some folks on my team, they just don't spend the time up front, right? They don't understand the guidelines. They don't know the guidelines. They're not taking a complete 1003. As basic as that is, actually sitting down and taking a complete 1003 would solve half of the problems.
Yes.
They're updating, they're working through the loan as the documents come in. Surprises are getting hit, and then they're moving with it. I think that's the biggest challenge. My pull through was 90% last year, not because I'm this great loan officer. I just spend the 30 minutes up front, take that hour, spend it, know the file, understand the client, understand their situation, know everything about it, and you'll save 30 days of that's what I tell my team all the time. You'll save 30 days of that process, just 30 minutes up front. But loan officers just don't want to read guidelines and really know their client. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Most of them don't.
I'm going to agree with that. And in addition to that, I would just say, and I've talked about this on the show so many times, guys, we're professionals that have the ability to make money that athletes and doctors and attorneys make, right? So at the end of the day, that means that we need to give that type of attention to our clients and the way that we present and put together our loans. So if you expect to have that kind of compensation, you need to earn it. And you need to earn it by putting together well-structured files and making sure that you've crossed your T's and dotted your I's for your clients, because they deserve that. Your agents deserve that, right? And when you do that, you're going to get rewarded on a level that a lot of people will never see. I can tell you right now, and I from experience, and I know a lot of you from experience have made millions upon millions of dollars in this industry. Why? Because we put together good quality files and take great care of our clients, right? So I 100% agree with everything you're saying. Take that extra time, cross the T's, dot the I's, get to know who your client is, build a relationship, build a file that's airtight. And you're going to have business partners that want to come back and do business with you again and again and again and again.
Which
and
is my
I
title,
think that's
man.
it.
Yeah. You guys, I'll tell you a story that every time I get on a call, they interviewed Michael Jordan. Anybody know Michael Jordan? Anybody know
Michael who?
Michael who? So they interviewed him at the end of his career, and they're like, Michael, I don't understand. Like, you don't have to do this anymore. Every time you step into that rectangle, you create a wow moment. Why do you do that? And he goes, not everybody knows who Michael Jordan is that's in this stadium. Shame on me for not letting that person know Michael Jordan. So when I get on a call, I'm like, I want this person to refer me over and over and over and over and over again. Every single person. When we talk about the law of 23, 100 people in your database. If you build a relationship, not just make it a transaction, guess what happens? Kristina gets more deals, which means you get a fat paycheck. Kristina gets a small one. You get a really fat paycheck, which is a beautiful thing. You guys, so when you get on the phone, think about the Michael Jordan story of every time he steps onto the court, every time you pick up the phone, every time you talk to a client, every time you talk to an agent, create a wow moment. And guess what happens? Millions of dollars comes your way just like magic because you're building relationships with those people. So, all right.
Love it.
Buddy, can I share something real quick in 3 minutes for
Absolutely.
people to help? Okay, this is a clarity moment. You might want to watch this back again. In order to take away logic and to dig deeper, some of you might feel like you've got someone who's impatient, or you're going to commission breath and transaction mode. What you want to do is preface first. What Scotty just did for you guys, if you watch it, he said, any of you heard of Michael Jordan? All right, that's a starting point. Is that a question, everybody? Can we analyze? Scotty's asking, anyone know who Michael Jordan is? That's a question. When it comes to you trying to dig deeper, the best thing you can do is ask permission first. Hey, is it okay if I share something with you? All right, and then they're going to go, yes. When you say, is it okay if I share something with you? You're going to go into, I'm going to start asking questions. I might go with my personality. I'll go with, if I'm one of you, I'm going to go, hey, have you ever seen the movie Jerry Maguire when he goes, help me, help you, help me, help you? And that's my starting point. And then they're going to probably chuckle or something like you just heard. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, can you see where in order for me to help you the most, will take us at least just going through some information. Are you following along with what I just did there? It's just help me, help you. And then I use the word, can you see where it's at least? The verbiage with at least, you use consciously the words at least, it diminishes the value of money and time. You have to consciously use the words at least. And I don't care if you're in Florida and you're dealing with the most impatient New Yorker, as an example. I would turn around to them. I'm on the phone with a New Yorker moving to Florida. They think they're going to palm me off. I'm going to be like, hey, mate, moving down the street can sometimes be a mission, right? Just getting the truck and everything. Can we agree? Moving to a whole new state, bigger mission. Can you at least see where 45 minutes to have a good game plan in place? So when you come down here, you're set up is a good idea. Only someone with red blood going through their veins is going to say yes to that. Anyone who says no to that, they're not thinking straight. But you've done it question-based. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully people can connect the dots on that.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Love you, dude. All right, Kristina, how do we, Kristina, I want to work with you. How do I do it? How do I do it?
Go to thebrokersprocessor.com. Just type in our website. There's a more info button at the bottom and it says get started. Fill that out. We'll connect with you. We get on a Zoom. We get you onboarded. It's a quick process and we'll walk you through the steps and you can start sending us loans the next day.
Somebody's asking, Greg Nolte, what's up, brother? How much are your fees? Priceless.
Yes, so we charge $10.95 per file from registration all the way through funding. VA IRRRLs and FHA Streamlines are $8.95 a file.
There you go. Pennies. And that's charged to the client 99% of the time, right? That's a fee.
Correct. That goes directly on the LE, so that's never going to touch your comp. There's going to be no issues there. Again, we're going to do everything but pretty much lock your loan, right? We're not touching your lock. You guys got to own that piece, but we'll register it for you. We'll get your disclosures out. We'll submit it. We'll order all the things. We'll work with your clients. We even all have Zoom accounts, so we will jump on Zoom calls with your borrowers. That's super important. And we'll make that file fly.
Let's be clear, though. You're not an LOA. It's a processor. So you're processing the file, getting what needs to be done to get to the closing. LOA.
100%.
So do you see a lot of LOs having LOAs that you talk with instead of the LO that clear that some of the conditions that a loan officer is responsible for clearing, or is there really nothing anymore?
I believe from what I see the most, the bigger teams have LOAs, 100%. And they have kind of a structured machine, and I'm doing the majority of the talking with the LOA throughout the process.
Awesome. Any questions for like Kim? I see here like Kim's like over detailed. She's like the bomb. So appreciate you being here, Kim.
Yeah, you bet. I have an initial client call script. I love everything you're saying, Kristina, and
thank you.
This is the key to success. You got to create a conveyor belt conversation. You want to create a feeling, right, in your client. You want them to feel safe, and you want to set expectations. So, every client has a different personality. So think about every person needs a different thing. So touch on each of those things. You don't know what they need most, and we're already on the disc. So make sure that your initial client call script is intentional, that you ask good questions. And I go a little further. Like when I ask them about their current income and employment, and they tell me, oh, I work full-time and at such and such, and how long have you been there? I say, are you salary or hourly? Is that all, is that all, okay, I'm salary. Is that all salary, or are you including some bonus or commissions? Like that's the next question. I have a little sign that says finish on my computer, like finish.
Love it.
What's the next question? Go all the way to the end. When they say I have $20,000 for this transaction, I ask them, which account is that in? Is it your checking or your savings?
Mattress.
Because they're probably going to say, well, it will be in my, savings. Oh, okay. So where is it currently?
In my mattress.
The next question. It's a gift. It's a gift from my. So let's talk about that gift.
Yeah.
Like ask the next questions, and then I am taking notes the whole time, and then those notes stay with the file forever and ever and ever. It's the story.